Welcome to the Story Lab. In our last presentations we have looked at a new big Lego game and at a movie about King Arthur and his knights. If we combine the two, we might be able to make something even greater. A King Arthur Lego game. Here are all the elements we can play with for this project. King Arthur plays out in Britain, all of Britain. All the stories of the knights are already structured like long quests. There is magic, infinite foes, puzzles, and many different forms of towers and environments. There is no predefined story or storyline that we have to adhere to, unless we adapt a particular Arthurian adaptation. There is a natural place to become a hub for the characters, the court of Camelot. There is a lot of multiplayer potential, but there is one more central idea we have for this Lego game. This is the perfect opportunity to consider an open-world game. Given the elements we have just considered, how about doing an open-world Lego game instead of the usual levels with open-world events? The player can travel around a huge map fulfilling quests, fight enemies, search for artifacts etc. without the needs for levels etc. The world would be similar to Middle-earth in the Lego Lord of the Rings game, where you can traverse it all on foot or by horse and meet people that give you quests along the way. Also similar to Lord of the Rings, we could have a backpack system where multiple items and weapons can be stored. In addition, we could take the forge concept from Lord of the Rings as well, where you can make new items or weapons upon collecting enough material and bringing it back to the forge at Camelot. Camelot itself would serve as a hub within the map, where you can always return to, where all the characters are for you to switch to, where you can store trophies, look at maps of unexplored regions etc. etc. Last but not least, we could implement a new building system for customizing the open world. At various places throughout the map, we could locate building platforms for certain structures, towers, boats, walls, secret hideouts, dragon lairs etc. These could use a LEGO Worlds digital designer software, where you could either use pre-existing models to build something or build something completely free. The structures would then stay in place at this location for the rest of the game, allowing you to return to places you have customized and live in one of these castles etc. Okay, let's collect this as ingredients. An open-world Lego game. Quests for the knights. Customizable parts of the world. Backpack system. Forge system. Camelot as a hub. No story. Fun and divers gameplay. Put them in and send them to the analysis. The mixture is almost ready. Here we go, LEGO The Knights of the Round Table, the video game. The game consists of a huge open-world LEGO map of the entire British Islands, with woods, cliffs, hills, fields, and castles throughout. The player will be allowed to roam freely between all of these places, traversing the island on foot or on horseback. There will be a fast travel system too, but only to certain locations, regions, and back to Camelot, which is the hub. Camelot itself is a huge fictional castle layout, where all the unlocked characters roam about, and different rooms contain different functions. Most rooms are of course just rooms, but there is a trophy shelf in each dorm room for items the player gained along the way. Also in Camelot are the library and the chart room, where details about the open world can be researched if a particular thing cannot be found by just roaming about and following clues. The throne room will contain all the progress bars etc. The Great Hall, where the round table is located, will be the center of the castle. Other crucial areas will be the stables, where different horses can be chosen, the shops, where certain items can be purchased, and the forge, where new weapons can be forged. If you find certain materials, enchanted wood, meteor rock, etc., in the open world, you can bring those back to the forge as well and have special weapons be made out of them. Last but not least, there is a weapons room, where you can store all your weapons, and Merlin's Tower, where magical secrets are hidden. Magic is part of the world and several of the playable characters will be magical in nature. Most of these characters have first to be unlocked though by quests. Only some of the main knights are available from the get-go: Arthur, Gawain, Lancelot, Kay, etc. The whole game is based around the open world, but there are 2 levels, bookending the King Arthur story. The first level, and simultaneously the tutorial, is the story of Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone and fighting the 11 kings that won't accept him as the new king of Britain. Second players in this story are Kay and Merlin, allowing you to play around with several abilities from the get-go. The second proper level will be the Battle of Camlan and the finale of the Arthurian legend that you can play as soon as you reach a certain level. As discussed earlier, the game would include a new Lego building mechanic, where you can outfit your world with new structures at certain points. The ability would not be available everywhere, since this is not Lego Worlds, but it would apply to certain regions, where you would find a Lego base plate that you can build upon. The base plate will be coded for one of several structures that you are intended to build on it: towers, castles, walls, ships, lairs, etc. Several pre-build options will be at your disposal, and you would be able to customize them. In addition, individual components would also be available, like segments of a tower, etc., that can be freely combined into a finished structure. Last but not least, it would be able to use these base plates with the full digital designer functionality and build a custom structure stone by stone, to each their preference. This mechanic, alongside the open-world character of the game, would make this a completely new generation of Lego game. Some elements, however, would obviously stay the same: gold bricks, rideable animals, horses, dragons, etc., red bricks, and a large character roster. Since the main focus of the game will be completing tasks, it is no problem that the characters, i.e. primarily the Knights of the Round Table, are also similar to one another. Special characters with special abilities will be more rare in this game. There are, however, still many abilities in the game, only most of them can be used with the standard knight character. Abilities include sword fighting, sword throwing, sword activated switches, bow and arrow, shooting targets, reading runes to open special doors, hammering, breaking brick structures with an axe, redirecting light with a glowing shield, carving shapes out of Lego walls, finding objects as a pathfinder, super strength, super speed, climbing, using a rope, temporary invincibility. Pulling swords out of stones, you may guess to whom this ability applies. Light up dark areas, as well as several magic-based abilities. Use enchanted tools, open secret doors, see hidden objects, move large bricks, teleport, make potion, mental control. These last couple of abilities would apply to more unique characters like Merlin, the Lady of the Lake, Morgan Le Fay, etc. Another great thing about this potential game would be its expandability. The game could easily be added upon by simply adding new regions and/or more quests. In addition, this game could be the first Lego game to offer more than 2-character multiplayer ability, since there would be no reason for why you should not take a large group of knights along for a quest or go out alone. So, what do you think? Would you be interested in playing this game? Please note that everything presented here is simply the results of an experiment. No part of this presentation is intended as a correction of an existing story or claims to be the real story. The selection or omission of any parts of the source material is not to be understood as commentary, positive or negative, on the original productions. These are simply thoughts and experiments based on existing material, and none of it could be created without the work of all those involved in creating the original works. As with any scientific result, you may utilize any of the story ideas that resulted from these experiments for your own experiments or production, while citing this experiment as its source. It is now closing time for our lab. Goodbye until next time.